Now, genius in 3 notes. Tomorrow marks Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's birthday. We celebrate with a conversation Jeffrey Brown had recently with composer and pianist Rob Capello, who deconstructs music for us from time to time. They met up at the Signature Theater in Arlington, Virginia.
Happy birthday, Mozart, right? Welcome,
Yeah.
Rob Capello. Let's start by acknowledging this is one of the world's great musical geniuses, right?
So true. Whenever you think of musical prodigy, who do you think of but Mozart? Writing simple keyboard pieces at 5, violin sonatas and orchestral music at 6 and 7, First Symphony at 9. It's really disgusting if you're a composer like me. You just don't even want to think about Mozart's birthday.
All right, so there's a whole world of Mozart to choose from.
Totally.
You picked Symphony number 40, right? The famous G minor,
right,
and the beginning of that. So first remind us a little of how that...
Yeah, this is on everybody's cell phone ringtone.
Yeah.
Everyone has heard this, even if you think you've never heard a note of classical music. This is the one you've heard. For many generations of kids, this was actually ruined as, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's Mozart, and now have ruined it for generations of television viewers as well.
Yeah. So why pick that? Why?
I picked this because, for one, it's the most famous, or one of the most famous themes that Mozart ever wrote, but what happens to it is amazing. I often say that classical music is really about becoming, not being. It's not about what a musical...
Becoming, not being.
Yeah, it's not about what a musical idea is when you first hear it, what it is to be, but it's about what it can become, or how it transforms over the course of a piece of music. Now, in and of itself, though that's a famous theme, it's not that amazing in and of itself. It's got 3-note idea. That's not so great. He does it once, does it again, a third time, and then leaps up. So I'm now going to ruin this again for a new generation. I'm going to call it do it once, do it twice, and then leap up. In and of itself, that's not so fantastic by itself.
Yeah.
The second half sounds completely different. It just goes down a scale. Though the two halves are actually connected, they rhyme, they have the same rhythm.
Right.
Now, in and of itself, if Mozart had stopped there, we wouldn't be celebrating his birthday hundreds of years later. It's not that great. But what happens to it over the course of the piece is amazing. Let's skip ahead to the middle of the piece. All of a sudden, we end up here. This is a normal place to end. All of a sudden, 3 abrupt chords take us to a completely different place. Where are we? We hear our opening. Now, originally it was here. We're now starting on a different note, what we call transposing, and we do it here. All sounds normal.
Yeah.
Everyone expects to hear this. But instead we get... first shock.
That's through the key change first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First through a key change and then change the melody. Then we do it again. Everyone expects. But no, we get second shock. Then we hear it again. Third time, even lower. And then the piece just takes off. Now, this is like a character in a novel who you think you've met, you think you understand them, but now all of a sudden, what he's going to do is almost Beethovenian. Now, Beethoven was actually only 18 years old and still a babe in the woods, but this is fundamentally Beethovenian. What he's going to do is take an 8-measure melody, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum-bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. Reduce it to 4 measures, reduce it to 2 measures, 10 notes, 7 notes, and finally the whole universe will get summed up in only 3 notes. So watch this.
The whole universe.
The whole universe in 3 notes, a cosmic essence. We hear Mozart think out loud. What can I do? And he says, what if I just
Even those 3 notes. What can
I do with these 3 notes? And I mean, it's not much. I mean, right? I mean, this is not great. He says, what if I just take the ending and put it down here in the flute and oboe and overlap like this? Try it up higher. Even higher. trying to find out what does the idea mean. And then the ultimate final step is we reduce the whole thing to nothing but the first three notes. I mean, who would dream that this could be the topic for an entire piece?
We started, though, this conversation about genius. Your case is that that's sort of the essence of it, is taking something simple, creating a whole universe in this.
Exactly. You know, there's that quote from Ezra Pound, genius is the capacity to see 10 things where the ordinary man sees one. We just hear that opening idea, but he sees, as you've just heard, at least 20 things in an idea that we never could have imagined. You know, great Mark Twain quote, there never was yet an uninteresting life. Inside the dullest exterior, there is a drama, a comedy, and a tragedy. And Mozart heard the drama, comedy, and tragedy in all of us and turned it into music.
All right, happy birthday, Mozart. Rob Kaplow, thanks so much.
Thank you.